My name's Calvin Waite, and I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a living. Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. And so here we are, Monday morning. It is September 14th, and we are taking a look at Verge. So Verge, I've got the weekly chart here, and the reason I'm looking at Verge today is it's a coin that I do trade, and it's also a coin that some people have requested that I take a look at. So I hope this is helpful to some of you. So first of all, you can see there's only one line that I've drawn on this chart. So we're at weekly, and I have drawn one horizontal line, and it is the first support that we really hit, and we hit a double bottom. Then, of course, we launched, and Verge had this just insane move, and then now we've been cooling down for a long time. So some people are like, oh, Verge is dead. Verge is going nowhere. But there are plenty of gains to be made on Verge. So interestingly, even though this is our initial support, the price action has not respected it that much. So when we hit into this, so the line is actually at 41, I believe. If I zoom in really good. Oh, 43. So we're at 43. And we did originally bounce off of it, and then we've just kind of, it's kind of cut through and come above and sort of cut through. So it's not the cleanest line ever. But when we start touching it and playing with this line, it is sort of it does become kind of a pivot point for us. Below it, we show weakness. Above it, we show strength. So it appears that in the most recent history, anything below this line has been historically a decent time to buy. And then when we get above it, we get some kind of a pop. It might be short-lived. It might be a little bit more. I mean, this was a couple of months above the line here, and then we had quite a decent run in the past few months. So June was our big run on Verge most recently. And if you look at this, if we were in at 43, this peak right here at a high of 104, that's a 2.5 times return. So let's take a look at daily. We'll see if there's anything. So I wanted to talk to you about, so my most recent trade, I did buy Verge when we exited this green zone here. And when we get out of the green here, this is when we exit. So it wasn't spectacular, but it was a decent return. And now we're kind of in this yellow zone right now. But there are a few things to look at. So if you look at this line, I'm going to look at kind of this dotted line, where we found our first support and then broke it, we have hit resistance twice. So this will be a level that will probably come into play in the future. But looking at, so when I trade a coin, I'm not just looking at the price action, but I'm looking at the emotionality of the coin. So this move here was very exciting. This was a lot of excitement. There's some exuberance here. And then when it finally cools off, we have one more push, which I usually call the bull trap. So every time we have a really strong push upwards, we will come back, and then there will be another push, but most often it will not have the same amount of strength and excitement as the first one. And this is where, if you're trading and you're aware of this, this is your exit right here. But so as we came down, we fell off pretty good, and then we hit a couple of points here. Now, things to look at: we have a high, we have our first support, we have a lower high, we have our lower low, we have a lower high, we have a lower low, lower high, lower high, and right here you think, oh wait, we're consolidating. Well, this is a positive move. This is worth watching. When you see that you've got support that is higher, but confirmation of this as support, we need a higher high in order for that to confirm. So we see this here, we see our lower high, nothing new. And then when we see this bottom, we're like, oh, this might be time to get in. If we had gotten a higher high, would we buy yet? No. We buy on the retracement. And if we can get above this and we can mark this point as support, that's our entrance. So this we would not have bought. And then currently we have sold back down to our line. So it's not good to touch a line too much, because the more you touch it, the more you have a chance of falling through. But let's just take a look at it this way. I'm the type of person that when I see this kind of move here, where we've got super excitement, and then it doesn't quite pan out, and then we have a lot of people taking losses, and then a couple of months go by and things kind of flatten out, there's another run to be had. This is not a dead coin, because there are solid moves here. This is more than a 200% gain. In fact, from the bottom to here is a 300% gain. And that means there's life in this coin and there are profits to be made. The question is when do you get in? So our lowest low has been around 33. Like, this is essentially our bottom. We've never crossed below this. Taking a position at 43, is that the end of the world if we drop back to 33? We've lost a third. But see, I'm a very patient trader. I'm not afraid to take a trade like this, because I know that if I wait, I can wait a year or more and wait for one of these green zones to show up. And where we are essentially near the bottom of our historical low, I would not be afraid to buy on this line. I would probably, if I was a little more, if I was a little more impatient, I would wait for a red zone to appear. And the red zone, the red zone is going to be 6 months out. We won't see a red zone for a while. And that's because all of these trend lines have to consolidate, and they need to kind of return down to their base. See how down here in this red zone, we had all of our trend lines all tight and close. And this consolidation is a spring ready to launch. So when we exit the red zone, all of the averages open up, and then we start seeing our highs, and then we get into a good green zone. When we fall below our 50, our green zone is over. So here we can be patient, but where we've consolidated for about 2 weeks, this is not bad. This is not a bad move. Every time you see consolidation, especially after a drop, some people think this is a continuation, but as close as we are to the bottom, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another attempt. What will this attempt look like? If we follow our current pattern, it'll probably come about halfway and then fall back a bit. But what if it doesn't? That's why we take small positions. We can take small positions because if we're wrong, we have the ability to move. So we take a small position here, and what if we're right? What if we create a higher high? Well, chances are after this higher high, we probably won't be touching this level anymore, and we'll have missed our chance. If we take a small position here and we're wrong, and we head down to 33, we take another small position. No big deal. And then when we finally do move, we can exit our incorrect position at break even, and then we ride the wave. So not hard. This is definitely a coin I like. I'm watching it, and I'm waiting for the entrance, and I believe that we'll see one pretty soon. And But yeah, that Verge is a good coin, and it's definitely not over. So for those that are trading this, keep your eye on it, and hopefully we'll see some good action coming up here. If I see anything, I'll try to do another video on it.
Hey, thanks for hanging on till the end of the video. If you liked anything I said, please support the channel by subscribing. If not, feel free to leave a comment and I'd be happy to take a look and make improvements to the channel so it'll be better next time. Hey, thanks.